I love New York City, and I had flown into JFK, and I was being picked up by a limo service there. And you know, anytime I get to New York, I have this like soundtrack going on in my head with lots of music, and usually it's Frank Sinatra. You know, I got down to baggage claim, and I was waiting there with the driver, and thought, oh well, you know, I think I'd like to run across and you know, use the restroom while, you know, we're waiting for the bags to come. And so I take off across this slick, polished, beautiful marble floor next to baggage claim, and I wasn't even wearing really high heels, but I just hit it right and I splayed out flat on the floor. And of course everyone around me started, you know, picking me up and saying, oh, are you okay, are you okay? And I was incredibly embarrassed and mortified, and I was like, oh, I'm fine, even though my face started throbbing. And I looked down, and my lipstick had made this imprint on the shiny floor, and I stood there thinking, wow, well that's, you know, that's a way to leave a mark in the world. You know, I think poetry gets a bad rap sometimes about being always serious, you know, and everyone has, I have a friend, Sarah, who was in my program. Well, actually she was a fiction writer, and she has this really annoying habit of, she'll call me and leave a message, and she will do it in what she calls poetry voice, where you can basically, you know, read the back of a cereal box in this sort of lilting, you know. And so I think sometimes, you know, poetry gets that kind of reputation because it's about these very serious subjects and loss and grief and angst and things like that. But poetry, just like human experience and any other kind of art form, can also be really funny. I mean, I think there are some really funny poets. Billy Collins is one of them. I love his poem called Why I Don't Own a Gun. And it's this whole expose on his neighbor's barking dog, and how he's trying to listen to Beethoven and have this, you know, like lovely morning, and this dog's just barking, and he tries to imagine the dog's part of an oboe section, and the barking is its rhythm, you know, and you're laughing hilariously by the time you get to the end of the poem. Or another one of my favorites of his is called The Lanyard, and I don't know if you went to summer camp and you took the little plastic things and you wove a lanyard together, and you know, then it ended up being like someone's present after you got home from camp. And this particular poem is about how you make that lanyard and you give it to your mother, who has given you life and fed you milk, and I'll give you this lanyard in exchange for all these things you gave me, you know. So I think sometimes we forget that poetry also contains laughter and humor and, you know, making fun of ourselves, which is really important.